Yo. Let's get this show started. Turn my microphone up. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. I think everything's going good. Check my levels. All right. Got 6 eyes on me. 3 people watching. Let me know how my levels sound in the chat. Like, my level's good. Everything good. What's happening? I'm giving people a little chance to get in here before I get started. Simple show. I ain't really going. Everybody already talked about, our draft picks and what's this and what's that. Everybody already know who we have, who we done drafted. I'm gonna just give my thoughts and my take on how I feel, my perspective on who we drafted. You know, trying to pull up my notes. I don't really. I'm not really upset about who we drafted. I actually, I actually felt like this was a good draft that we had. I just honestly feel like I don't know why people believe um like I think one of the issues we have with the media is we don't give we don't get a lot of credit, and I want to say it can be of our own doing, um because you got to think about, we have had 8 years of bottom of the barrel, franchise. No matter who we had in here, no matter all the good players we had, we've always still been at the bottom of the barrel. We don't attract, or we don't try to get like big names. Um, Allegedly, um, one point in time we wasn't drafting anybody from Georgia. Um, Considering even like even the coaching staff that we had, the different um, coaches that we had in our franchise. It's terrible. It wasn't the best. Like I said, we have made strides from being 7-10, 8-9 2 seasons. So I guess we're going to be 9-8, maybe 10-7. I give us this year. I give us 10-7, 10-7, and winning um, the division is a good season. Winning the division, making it to the playoffs. I think honestly, and I always question whether or not, what do we consider a successful season? It's one of my staple questions I always kind of push out. You're gonna hear me mention it. Like, what do we consider a successful season? So, um, is making it to the playoffs a successful season? Is winning the division a successful season? Those are the things to consider. So let's get into it, man. This is the Lochness. I am the Lochness. We on Let's Talk About It with the Lochness on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday. Let's talk about it with the Lochness. We lit, we live, we out here. Um, Go to my Liddy committee. I call y'all my Liddy committee. The comment section is my Liddy committee. Maurice, what is that? Maurice, what's that? Maurice Martin, Super Bowl or bust. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with. I mean, I get it. Um, I I honestly don't. I mean, that's a lot of busted team thing because it's only two teams going to the Super Bowl. So, but for us, I don't really feel like it's a Super Bowl or bust. But well, or explain why you feel that way. I'll say that. Explain to me why you feel like it's a Super Bowl or bust. Me personally, I think showing we've gradually showed strides and improvement. I honestly think winning the NFC South is is a good staple point, and not even just winning the NFC South. I mean, winning the NFC South will get you a playoff berth. So winning the NFC South gets you a playoff berth. So yes, you want to win the NFC South. Um, you know, I honestly, I honestly feel like on paper, it's always like on paper. What people don't understand when you have a team that's locked in with a lot of good people on the team is mission together and everybody having that one vision and executing to achieve that one vision, which is the Super Bowl. So you said laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Every year I believe we're a Super Bowl bound. Honestly, I still salty about 16 and I desperately want to bring a Super Bowl ring to the A. Yeah, I'm not even I'm more my whole mindset is hopefully we don't have a lot of divas on our team. Hopefully we get guys that buy into Matt Ryan, Stefanski vision, and the coaches that we brought in and the coaching staff that we created has a clear vision. And if it's like, hey, bro, we going to the Super Bowl, go. But I would rather you say, we winning the Super Bowl. I mean, nothing saying, it's nothing saying that you can't have that vision. Um, Seeing is believing, and it's all about your mindset. And if they're pushing a Super Bowl caliber mindset, like, hey, we finna go to the Super Bowl, and everybody buys in and execute and do what they need to do, because on paper, offensively, you have a juggernaut offense. Oh well, you have a lot of weapons, and you have an O line that can hold up. Everybody says there's a QB carousel, but so so that's gonna bring me to what the topic of this show is about. Is did the Falcons address the needs in the 2026 draft? Did we address opportunities and challenges in our draft with the draft picks that we created? I said that we was going to go. I said we was going to go when I did my mock draft. I didn't have AJ Terrell's brother as the pick. I had the dude from Florida, I think. Was it Keontae Smith? I believe his name was. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken. From the Hurricanes, I believe. I had him, and then my second pick was Zachariah Branch or Sarat, whatever he calls it. I did have him, and I did have the line. I didn't have any other linebackers we picked. I think I did have Kendall at one point in time, but I did have that linebacker from Alabama. Um, you know the um I did have the dude from Georgia Tech. It's like a lot of the people that we picked up, I did have. Even the interior lineman, what is it, Brookmeyer or Brookmeyer, I think that's his name. I had him as a pick as well. But you think about the needs that we have. I feel like And I heard, several media outlets talking about um, the people that we drafted. We got a C. Ooh, our draft class and grade was a C. That's crazy. Going off of what we need, we got a grade of a C. It wasn't the best grade, but I think we got valuable guys that are plug and play guys. And going back to my show title, did the Atlanta Falcons address the needs that we have? Absolutely. Um, so I'm gonna start with I'm doing this show a little different. I'm gonna go instead of going through our draft picks, I'm gonna go through the undraft. No, we're not gonna do that. See my thing switching up. We're gonna go to the undrafted free agents. Um, so we got 16 undrafted free agents, you know. Um, and a lot of the names are people that a couple of Georgia people, well, the running back, Cash Jones. Um, I think our running back room is solid. And then the undrafted free agents, you don't know who's going to make the 53, but at the end of the day, you want to have competition in those rooms, and the person that steps up. How some people think they're a shoe in because they're drafted. I mean, they're like they've been put on a team, but then at the end of the day, you want people that hey say, oh, we got this young guy who's ready to eat, and he come in ready to eat. He gonna get the plate. You feel me? I feel address the offensive line. We definitely address the defense. What are your thoughts on sleeper cornerback Jack Strand? They may end up being a starter. Also, he has the best. He was the best QB. Um, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Jack Strand. I'm actually talking about Jack Strand in my second take after this one. After I go through the undrafted, and I'm gonna go to the Jack. I'm gonna talk about him in the draft. I don't know what I'm talking about in this draft. Okay. Um, I'm gonna be 100% going back to my media. How the media does us. If we would have drafted Jack Strand, they would have blew up like see you just signed Tua, you just signed Tua, you just did this, you just did that. And it's like wow, they don't know what they're doing over there. Then we got him as a undrafted free agent, obviously, but it's like they're not hyping him up as much because I believe he's on our team. Like he has been signed as a potential piece on our team. Now, if another team picked him up, they would, oh yeah, they needed somebody like him. And I think they kind of dumb down or dim our light a little bit. It's like how Algier was Algier over here. As soon as he went to the Cardinals, oh man, yeah, you see that? Oh man, they got them a running back, and then they drafted a running back, which is a slap to Algier's face because he wants to be a starter, but you just got a high profile rookie running back. So essentially, Algier is going to probably be in the same role as he was in Atlanta. Can't write this stuff up, but let's talk about some of the people that we got undrafted that I thought what that stuck out, and of course, Jack Strand um, is one of them, but I'm gonna talk about him after this. Cash Jones is a little spitfire. Um, he's a great runner, speedy guy. They're gonna emphasize speed. It seems most of the guys they got is yak guys, also guys that can do multiple things. Swiss Army knives is what we call those. Versatility, guys with speed, smaller guys. For some reason, they do have like a lot of people think because someone's small, like a Zachariah Branch, it's like, oh, is he small? Like, bro, we need guys that are speedy guys. You know, Bijan Johnson. I mean, I said Bijan Johnson. Bijan Robinson isn't the biggest guy. but he's fast, you know, and solid. You know, the Falcons did what they could to address needs considering the circumstances. Absolutely, I feel like honestly, like we did a good job, and then shout out to the fact that like we're getting an opportunity to shout out to JPJ's lawyer, lawyers or lawyer, you know, where he has the opportunity to have all charges dropped and he receive his, NFL punishment. And then we essentially get our number one draft pick that has been proven back. So technically, that's like a win-win, my guys and girls. That's a win-win to me. As long as he does what he needs to do, and I'm sure they're gonna help him do that. But like I said, Cash Jones from Georgia, that's awesome. Trent Battle um, got two running backs. Like I said, they want to have it. And I always said this. I said this last year. They try to get people that are certain archetypes, where it seemingly seemed like they'll get somebody that's a complementary of that other player, that starting player. So if they give them an opportunity to rest, it's just like they're still technically out there on the field in a different form of another person. So the roles won't be so they don't have to complicate. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Um, some notable wide receivers, like our wide receiver room was dismal. A lot of guys was like giving you nothing. And our wide receiver room is looking a tad little bit better on paper. Now, it still has the people still have to perform. They still have to execute. They still have to go out there and prove themselves. Um, Therefore, like even with the 1 year deals that Ian Cunningham then put in place, of a Dotson and Zacchaeus coming back, um, guys that have veteran experience or a little bit more experience than the other guys, where like a Vinny Anthony, a Malik Rutherford from Georgia Tech. I had him as one of my like last guys that we draft. Um, got a guy from Duke, the dude from Miami. We have, I believe in my heart of hearts, we have guys that's gonna, because once you go undrafted, I believe that puts a little chip on your shoulder for some people, and hopefully they execute and be a part of the 53. Uh, Even maintain some people on the practice squad. Um, what? Oh yeah, Brookmeyer from Miami, the center, the interior, James, Brookemeyer. Um, you can't lose with having like on O line. You can't lose with having guys that can be coached up as well. Like you got to understand too, having these guys, even if saying they make the 53 man, having guys that you can develop behind other people, is also good as well. So think about this. Like I said, this is our 3 to 5 years. This is how this team is going to be. So just looking at what we have and what we brought in, you think about, you know, basically like you mentioned, our circumstances. Our circumstances, we always have a circumstances. We never, it seems like we always behind the eight ball sometimes. If it's not about the cap, the cap situations we have, it's like, because we know we're about to get ready to pay Bijan Robinson, restructured AJ Terrell. Um, let's see. Um, it wasn't Caleb McGarry. He just got paid, and all of a sudden, he gets hurt and he's out. And there's nothing saying that he might be like, hey, they can unretire real quick. The next year they can be like, you know what? I don't really want to retire. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how you can flip like so much situations. Like it reminds me of Eddie Goldman. Like, bro, retired, came back, retired so many times. It was like, bro, are you even gonna get on the field? Do you think a lot of our guys we picked up a free agent will help out our special teams roster? We don't have a lot of players on special teams. Absolutely, absolutely. I do believe that's why you wanna you think about Hodge. We had Hodge. We had like Blair. We had oh man, what's his name? This dude who he had a few good catches, then all of a sudden he just stopped catching the ball. But it's like I think our special team guys, I think that's what they're gonna be practicing for. Guys that are speedies, guys that are lengthy. Um, few tight ends, a Brandon Frazier, which is a 6'7" blocking tight end. Brandon Frazier is like you want to have because if you look at the Stefanski led offense and the other guy Van Pelt, they had the two tight ends. So you have Kyle Pitts, and then you have a Brandon Frazier, um, a Jack Veeling. I think they Jack Veeling, Viling, Veeling. I think that's Veeling. A couple of tight ends, but I know Frazier is a blocking tight end. Um, and you want to have, and I think that with having what is his name, Cunningham, oh Callahan, I'm sorry, Callahan, the offensive line coach, it's going to help get those because we want an offensive line that pushes the pocket, spread the people out. That they chop their feet and they're pushing the line like they pushing out. So it spreads the gaps when you're in running plays. It offers opportunities you know, for basically you want to allow the quarterback at least 4 to 5 seconds. Sometimes it's a 1, 2, about the second or third like seconds, the quarterback is either releasing the ball too long and you get inside. What's happening, TT? What's happening? What's up, Mike? So understanding like I undrafted free agents, man. I think I always feel like we're gonna do well just by getting people um that makes sense to um the scheme. I think the scheme, people understanding like that's what a lot of people don't understand. They be thinking like, oh, they're not picking people. They didn't pick this person. That person was on the table when they picked up. But it's like you gotta pick people. They go see these people. That's why they got a scouting team. 30 to 40 people that they take down there to go look at people, write notes and talk to the players, get a feel of the players. Take the coach down there like, hey, what is your view? Like going on like that, you don't think they sit down and be like, what style of offense are we gonna run this season? Okay, what type of players do we have that's already here that's going to give us the best possible way of executing these what playmakers we have on the team, what X factors we have on the team. Look at old film. Like they have a lot of people that write the X's and O's down in the numbers and get the analytics for all of these things. So we're sometimes sitting on the outside looking in, trying to make decisions. That's like, why you pick him? Why would you pick a Kendall Perkins? Why would you pick a person that's a converted safety that's a linebacker? That and one of the things that somebody like Ellis was getting done when he was getting burnt in coverage. Why not have a linebacker that was converted from a safety that's normally in coverage that actually that works moves now as a linebacker? That's a win-win. We call that the win-win, right? Like what we talking about? Frazier is 6'7", 265, very good blocker. He can develop to a grunt type player. Yeah, so that's another thing. Another thing I wanted to address was and I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this before I get to Jack Strand. Um, I wanted to talk about this top free agencies left on the market. You think about. I want to bring this up because the undrafted free agency is a testament, or it shows where you can get value for cheap or value for less. You think about how many rookies we can get that produce, that can plug and play or develop them how you want them to be, and they do their job, their role. That's another thing that people don't understand about when we draft. We're not looking for bigger names. We're looking for people that complement and add value to the vision in the room. So somebody like Frazier, yeah, a nice like blocking tight end that can also do an intermediate route, catch the ball, big guy, get bumble, you know what I'm saying? Just go down and get me like an extra catch the ball 3 or 4 yards out, get me an extra 4 or 5 more yards. You know what I'm saying? We want those guys. Um, we want guys that, like a Zachariah Branch that, can catch a. I don't really want that. We do a lot of those um not sweeps, but we do a lot of those sweeps, end arounds, when they'll throw it behind the line and give him blockers and let like Bijan or whoever use their athleticism to get them some play, get them some yardage up the field. You can't develop into Gronk. You're him or you're not. Yeah, I wouldn't say develop into Gronk. I would more so say develop into a tight end that runs those intermediate routes that gets yak. That's one thing about Gronk. If we want to bring up Gronkowski, dude was dude size, pause, and his athleticism was crazy. Like the way he moved, it was just like, dude is like, man, you pause massive to be moving so athletic like that. He was a freak, like say like freak. So yeah, but if we can get him to be a hint of that, cool. Because you think about it, you can never have too many weapons for Tua. You can never have too many weapons for Michael Penix. You can never have too many weapons for Jack Strand. I'm gonna be 100%. I think Jack Strand is gonna beat out Trevor Simeon. Just be 100%. I think when it came to Jack Strand, it was crazy that my boy was still there. What happens is when a lot of people have so many things that they need and a quarterback ain't one of them, that's how we can capitalize on that. So even when we drafted Michael Penix Jr., Michael Penix was like the third best quarterback in his draft class. And everybody was like, why did they draft him? But as soon as he would have went to a different team, they were like, oh yeah, Michael Penix. Like Michael Penix was like the most like accurate guy. He was like the third best quarterback in his draft class. When we picked him up, it was like, why you drafted him when you had Kirk Cousins? And then that whole situation happened. I really honestly think, and just taking a couple of steps back to this Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix situation, I really think we should just roll Kirk Cousins out until the wheels fell off. Win, lose, or draw, because you paid for him. I really think but then life sets itself up a certain way. So we wouldn't have had all of these great things happening the way they're happening if we didn't do. It's just like on the Matrix. We remember when Neil seen the oracle, she said, don't mind the vase or something," and then he moved and he bumped it and broke it. Like she knew he was gonna do it, and the fact that she said, "Hey, the fact that I told you was gonna do it." So that's how it is. The fact that we know the outcome of what happening now, if we would have known then, we would have still made the same decisions. So it all works in our favor. Understand that the universe works in your favor based off it's already set off to some decisions, bad or good, that you're going to execute. The extra pause. Yeah, extra pause that I would rather have a prime Tony Gonzalez type tight end. I would rather have guys that know their role in this on this team and execute their role in their given position. If I'm asked Frazier, hey, I don't need you to be Gronkowski. If I need you to be a blocking part. I need you to be Charlie Warner. Was it Warner? I want you to block, and then when your numbers call, I need you to catch the ball and get us 4 or 5 more yards. Like if you catch the ball and be a possession tight end. Um, you know, like I said, we're gonna see what's happening because like even with somebody like Tua, like I told y'all before, Tua is starting. I don't know why nobody think Tua's not starting. You will want Tua to start just because it gives Michael Penix opportunity to get more healthier. And so he doesn't have to rush back prematurely to try to like. But wait, there's more. Then we draft an undrafted free agent. Oh, before I let me continue. So I'm going ahead of myself, but I'm gonna go to Jack and then I'm gonna come back. Jack Strand, dude. When I looked at his tape, I was surprised, and I guess it's because I guess they were saying like he didn't really go against any competition. You can't compare college to the NFL, right? We can't be like, hopefully in the collegiate level, it translates to the NFL, right? For anybody from Georgia, any of this SEC, Big Ten, or anything like that, we can't be like, well, hopefully it goes, because he's still in the collegiate level, regardless of what level it is. You're still in the collegiate level, and you still have to be trained up. But that's when you get a guy, dude is like just sheer um physicality, extended the plays, can see over the line because he's like 6'5" or something like that. Um, arm talent. Mm, that's a blessing in disguise, my guys and gals. Like that's a blessing in disguise. He's a like Strand is that's different, different. Dude is different. I said it's gonna be Tua, Penix, and Strand. Strand gonna get his 2 years. He gonna get this year. Michael Penix gonna get next year. Third year is gonna be Strand. Third year is gonna, and I hate to say it like that, but I would rather have, and I wouldn't even say his third year, 4 years. I would say Tua one, Michael Penix two, Strand after that. Um, yeah, yeah. Frazier's pretty good. Like he's a man. I looked at tape on Frazier too. Yeah, like bro, like y'all gotta understand. Like I mentioned before, is we gotta have guys that fit what the vision is. Van Pelt, Van Pelt is the guy who was calling the plays for a Stefanski, where he won 2-time Coach of the Year, and he put him on the staff. Like you gotta understand, Stefanski was smart about they were smart about getting the people around him. So, um, two tight end setups with a good running back. Um, yeah, we're pretty much building what he had in Cleveland Browns, but with better players technically. Jack Strand will be fun to watch in preseason. I'll say that. Um, yeah, he reminds me of a big Roethlisberger. That's what everybody that's what they're comparing him to in the media take, saying he reminds you of a big Roethlisberger. I would rather like he would like if anything, they should you know, give him tape on Ben Roethlisberger if that's the case, and let him see what Ben Roethlisberger did, and then give him um, tape on um, just being a pocket presence. I think his pocket presence and extending plays will do him good. What's up, Lee? Um, but let's go. So I'm not gonna really go into depth about Jack Strand. We all see what he is. Let's see how since he didn't have collegiate competition, let's see how he can be coached up and be what we need. Because at the end of the day, um, it's a great addition. I really think his arm talent, his IQ, and his size, pause, will get he'll make the 53. He'll be the third option. Um, I believe that. Um, but let's continue with this though. Top free agents left on the market, man. It's a lot of guys. It's a lot of it's a lot of guys that are left. They're thinking they're thinking that the squad. They're thinking that the Falcons are going to look at um, Tyreek Hill. Said Jack Strand is 6'4", 245, 13,000 yards. His career strand is Matt Ryan type. I was thinking that too. Um, Matt Ryan is style quarterback. Strand is a big Ben type as well. Like any taller guy that has arm strength. Um, and we're gonna get a glimpse of it in free agency because I believe, like I said, he's gonna beat out Trevor Siemian. It's almost just like how we did with Kirk Cousins. We was rocking with Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix was there, and it was like, how can we pass up on this? Um, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, we got Tua, we got Tua. Tua is technically, to me, is just a crutch or handicap for Michael Penix. Like I said, we don't have you don't have to rush back. You don't have to show that you're back. You don't have to show that you have to. So technically, Tua is a place setter. He's just, like I said, a bridge quarterback. He's just here so Michael Penix can go ahead and get more healthier, and then we're gonna see if Michael Penix can hold up. So actually, it's Michael Penix, and then it's Strand. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people are on 1 year deals. Yeah, you gotta understand. People don't understand, and then people are like, "Wow, we got Tua," and I'm thinking like, you telling me you got a starting quarterback that's a decent quarterback for $1 million and like a half or something? We ain't really gotta pay him that much, and we just need you to go out there. Saying he starts 7 games. Just saying, for instance, Tua starts 7 games, right? Just saying, for instance, Tua starts 6 games. You know what that means? That means Michael Penix got 6 weeks still of extra time to get to where he needs to be, extra time to get the playbook together, extra time to get more healthier, extra time to get more acclimated. Like, why wouldn't we want that? I think that's a win-win right there to me, you know. Um, but like I was saying, there's so many guys on the free agency hall right now. Um, Stephon Diggs will be his case. Tyreek Hill, a Debo Samuels, a Keenan Allen, Aaron Rodgers. We don't need Aaron Rodgers. Joey Bosa and Von Miller are still out there. Um, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm gonna be 100%. I used to love Keenan Allen, especially in my fantasy draft. But like I said, these are veterans though. D Hop, a Jawan Jennings. If we're sticking to the yak and we're sticking to the explosiveness and speed, I think Tyreek Hill would be a good addition. A Tyreek Hill with a Tyreek Hill help training up a Zachariah Branch, a Dotson, because you got Drake London as a possession receiver. You can never have too many weapons out there. You know, you can never have too many weapons. But then you got to also think about cost. And I was saying it's top free agents left on the market. Um, with these guys still on the market, their price might change because a lot of people were drafted younger guys. These guys that ain't got a job right now, they agents gonna be probably, hey man, let's we don't have to take a smaller deal. We don't have to take a lower deal because they're not. He said Lochness. Only thing I'm saying, you over Trevor, you overstrand. Let's hope not. But something happens to both Penix and Tua. Being a vet who started games and are better than under the quarterback. Um, well, experience is the best teacher. Um, like when we had got AJ Terrell, he was decent enough to a point in Clemson where we just started him. Same thing I feel about his brother. He was decent enough, nightly, like he was like one of the better corners to go ahead and start him. Um, a Jack Strand starting this year. I still think we like, yeah, a veteran quarterback would be nice, but I think that's the purpose of having a guy like Tua. He's a veteran, a quarterback, and I'm not knocking on wood. Don't want to see him go down. I don't want to see him go down at all. Saying he balls out for his year. We only got him for a year, y'all. Like we just got him just in case he does well, and then he goes on to do what he needs to do, and then we bring Penix in, um, or the you got to understand the coach that we have, the coach that we have. You understand, Penix is still a rookie, so you know the coaching staff that we have, they might go all in and on Strand. You never know. Like they were like, oh shoot, like we got we got Strand right here. Like it's crazy. He said he might be ready. Yeah, he might be. He said just keep Strand on the practice squad. I honestly think he can't really be on the practice squad. Somebody scoop him straight on up, bro. I think you got to put him on. You got to just preserve him. You got to go ahead and make him that third string. I'm gonna be 100%, and then put Trevor Simeon on the practice squad. I think that would be the better option because you want to keep him. Uh, so yeah, I was saying like Tyreek Hill, like, and then they're aiming at trying to get guys that's from down here, and I think with like a Tyreek Hill, it adds another level of explosiveness. Um, and like I said, we don't need him to be the most explosive that he's ever been, like he was in Kansas City. We just need him to be, uh, uh, I mean, he's still a cheater, you know. Like I said, people don't understand when you go through injuries and stuff, you can get back to form. It's just you might not have as much get up. Pause. Um, but I honestly believe, me personally, I honestly believe, like I said, we don't need you to do this. We don't need you to be the only offense when you have a Drake London, when you have a Bijan Robinson, when you have a Kyle Pitts, when you have, Zachariah Branch, when you have a Dotson, when you have a Zacchaeus, because you have guys that can still get you opportunities. It's just you're gonna share the sugar, so it's gonna be very, man. The fantasy aspect of this is gonna be crazy, depending upon who's gonna see the field. You can never have too many weapons, but they have a lot of free agents on the market, veteran free agencies. Um, and why not have one of the fastest guys on the field, like in the NFL, with Tyreek Hill trending up or right there next to Zachariah Branch, who's pretty fast and has decent footwork. I also said Zachariah Branch reminded me of a Bijan Robinson in wide receiver form, where he's he's very elusive in that aspect. That's what I mean by that. He's very elusive, and his footwork. And if he can do what was it, the dude from the Raiders? What's his name? Renfro. Dude, making people miss. His footwork is stupid. The dude from the Raiders. Uh, in high school, they used to call Zach Branch the next Tyreek. Yeah, so um, yeah, you gotta have that footwork, boom, that explosiveness, plant your feet down, change the direction. I even had him go look at some Barry Sanders, look at some Barry Sanders tapes. You know what I'm saying? Because Barry Sanders was different, but learning how to put your foot in the ground, change direction, sell your routes. You going right, but your body like you going left. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, let's go to the draft pick. So Thompson, defensive lineman. Like our thing was we needed more guys that can stop the run. Um, we needed more guys that can push the offensive line back into the quarterback. The more I've looked at his tape, the more I liked Thompson. Solid pickup. Like I don't understand. Like you also got to think about what we did in the free agency too. People don't understand. Like even when McGarry McGarry had retired, right then we picked up another O line. Boom, real quick. So you get depth, and then you get versatile people, versatile players that can pretty much. We don't want them to do nothing more than what their job is, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. We like a Kendall Daniels and the two linebackers, Harold Parkins Jr. and a Kendall Daniels. We want them to be like, this is what I want you to do. Like I need you to, okay, we're gonna put you out there because you gotta think about it. A Divine Diablo, I'm pretty sure. I think, well, he's coming back, right? And he was a good addition. Um, add him with some younger guys that, because it's all about how you train people up. It's all about how you. This is what I need you to do. Execute in real time. Um, I feel like we got some plug and play players. Um, I think it just helps our team when we have guys that, and like I said, our linebacker room was lacking. It was lacking, because So now we got guys that you train them up a little bit. They're a little bit raw, pause, but you train them up how they need to be, and then you put them in position on where they can shine. You take their best attributes about them, their best game play, and their what they're good at doing, and you have them do just that. If Kendall Daniels is good at, you know, saying getting after the run or getting after the quarterback, then you make sure you're having him doing that. If Harold Perkins is good at, you know, saying playing weak side, or him being your ex, you know, it, you have them do that. You don't deviate from what they're good at doing. It's when you try to get them to do other things, that's when you start failing. But I think we're better, like, what I'm saying, like a Kendall Daniels doing, being someone that's like a safety. Ontario was one player I like, 6'4", 306, ran for 740, long arm bench press. Yeah, somebody that can I don't want to say swallow the, like, but basically somebody that can stop the run, some run stuffing ability. Because we was getting smurdered by people with the run. We was getting smurdered. The middle, they knew we didn't have no big uglies. They call them the big uglies. We didn't have no big uglies in the front. That as soon as you run, boom, they grabbing you and snatching you up. We didn't have that. Now we got a few of those guys. We lost a few guys and gained some complementary pieces that we don't have to deviate from the game plan. And then you got to also understand, and I need everybody to be on board with this. We have to also understand that this is a new regime. First year, again, new regime, y'all. It ain't the same old last year team. This ain't the same old last year team from that year or the year before. Or the year before. It's another new team. So there's a whole new program. So these guys might even just gel together because they was, have you imagined having the same old, going to your job, doing the same old, you don't be want to, oh, man. But as soon as they switching stuff up, start paying attention to what you need, start doing the things that's best interest of the company, blah, 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 blah. You're going to move different because they're doing different. So it seems like we're doing different. So we're going to move different. That's why I feel like we're gonna get an opportunity to see. And this is just that I wouldn't say, like when we were saying at the beginning, Maurice was like, Super Bowl or bust. I'm more thinking about just winning the division. If you can go ahead and come together and win the division, you're already in a good position. I think, and this is just my take on that. But lastly, AJ Terrell's brother, a lot of people was high on this. Um, I think even on my draft, my mock draft, it had AJ Terrell brother like high on my draft board. Like, this is what you should. This is suggested. You get him. I just didn't. I was like, not him. Not saying I didn't want him. It was just that I was like, let me look at something different, because I wasn't like. You gotta think about it. All of our guys that we got was like first round talent. First round talent that fell to us in the later rounds, that's like a godsend. A Zachariah Branch falling to us in a later round, godsend. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, at the end of the day, um, I like this. I think Avion Sorrell, man, Westlake High School. Westlake High School is like right down, not right down the street, but it's a little ways down the street where I'm at. couple of turns here. Well, East P one, yeah, it's down that way. Where Spayberry at? Take Spayberry, yeah, right down that way. Over here where I'm at. Shout out to Raven Johnson too, Westlake, everybody. Westlake be producing them. What Cam Newton was from Westlake. A lot of people, a lot of people from Westlake. That's what they act. They act different over there. They act different over there. Even when I was at that working at that Chick-fil-A over there at Westlake, it was different. I was like, man, y'all acting so weird. Like, y'all high. Like y'all uppity over there. I like this. But like I said, Zachariah Branch, I always had him. I was always picking Zachariah Branch. If it wasn't Zachariah Branch, it was Surratt. I was picking him or Zachariah. Um, the even the quarterback, I mean the wide receiver from Wisconsin, the Vinny Anthony, or something like that. I think is his name. Um, I looked at his tape. A lot of speedy guys, a lot of guys that we're trying to get that that explosiveness down the field that we was lacking for so many years. We getting guys that can give you that explosiveness. We didn't have a lot of explosive plays, so one of the things they seemed like they went out and got explosive guys. That's why they got a Dotson, guys that can get down the field. As a kids, guys that can get down the field. You throw the ball up and float that thing to them and let their athleticism go get the catch. Um, like I said, I'm sold. I'm sold on the draft picks that we had, and like I said, based off the circumstances that we was given, we picked accordingly, and it didn't disappoint to me. Um, I just want to see this team come together and this vision come together, and we get to see because, like I mentioned before, a lot of people think we're still dealing with the same Raheem Morris squad. If we're not, and I think Hubert, um, we like I said, we have an opportunity to basically have an identity on defense. Um, I really like Red and Black for Shosky, Xavier. Antonio, one player I liked. Yeah. And it's AV Terrell. Terrell is going to be better than brother. He's already training with defensive back coach in Miami. Yeah. So yeah, some people were like, hey, we ready to get to it, man. Some people will be in their opportunity, so they're going to be in their bag, man. So we just gotta wait and see what this team has to offer and give Stefanski and Cunningham and Matt Ryan their grace along with the other coaches. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that this team is going to be this team is going to be a great team. I'm excited. I'm excited because for 8 years we've seen something that was just like, what are we doing? So it's like a new chapter for this team, a new experience for this team, a new opportunity to do something different. 7 and 10, 3 years in a row. 8 and 9, 2 years in a row. Tied, three-way tied, 8 and 9. With your like, and the only thing you had to do was win a game against the Jets and and you couldn't put it off. I said like I couldn't believe we lost to the Jets. It was just like that's when I knew. Then I'm like, this team, they got so much stuff going on this team that people ain't really caring. And then something happened when you getting blown out by Carolina. And it was like a lot of stuff that you think about. Sometimes these guys, when you get, have you ever been working for a job that you don't like what's going on? You don't put your, they always got something to say or this, that. You don't like, you don't really go to that job going 100%. I just come here, do what I need to do, and go home. You want me to do? All right, I got this. I ain't going extra hard. I ain't doing nothing extra. And I think that's what our last year. And it was just like, okay, we can win, but And then some people was working like, oh, I know this is a contract year, so I'm gonna try to go extra hard. And then, but yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, I like the draft picks that we we picked, even the undrafted people, is complementary pieces that I feel like can be a staple on this team. We just got to see the test of time and the test of coaching and see who makes it. But like I say, a Jack Strand need to go ahead and be to keep him untouched. Pause. But not getting picked up by another team, and you have to make him the third round. I mean, not third round, third string quarterback, and then have Trevor Simeon be a practice squad person. Just because you want to keep him and develop him, and wouldn't have nothing to worry about. You said all the teams in the South has gotten better in the draft. See, the one thing that's plaguing us, I'm gonna be 100%, is we have a new regime. We have this is a total clean. This is an overhaul. Like this is like the coaching staff. It's like it's completely different. So that's one thing that's either gonna help or hurt us. Because some of these other teams, they already had their squad pretty much together. Like as far as the coaching staff, I don't think a lot of people change. You know what I'm saying? We got an overhaul. You know, a lot of like Matt Ryan first time doing this. You know, Ian Cunningham's a good GM. You know, from what I've heard, and then Stefanski got no love because they everybody wanted Clint Kubiak and all these other people. They didn't want Stefanski. They was talking about Stefanski, this, that, and the third. He's trash and he's this before they giving him a fair shake. So I mean, all the teams got better. Awesome. So that means two things. So when we win the division, it won't be by default. You feel me? It won't be because all the other teams suck, so they should win. It should be we when we win the when we win the division, it'll be like okay, they won. But it's always gonna be somebody saying, well, yeah, but you know the other teams, they you know what I'm saying it's always gonna be something. But you want to win. Um, it's just like saying you don't want to win a championship in the bubble, like how the Lakers won in the bubble, and people are like, oh, it was in the bubble. At the end of the day, you want to win and go against the best competition, so you approve yourself and be like, okay, we beat y'all. Nobody's scared of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was the only person. Carolina, they just they're not teams. Carolina and the Saints, they're not two teams that I was just like, oh man, we gotta watch out for them. Tampa Bay has always been a team that was like, oh man, we gotta watch out for them. And then once Tampa Bay got rid of Evans, then they get rid of Evans. They let me know where they are with themselves. They like, hey man, we gotta win. We gotta get this guy who can't be on the field. So at the end of the day, like I said, we have a new regime, and I honestly feel like we're gonna get a glimpse of. And I just don't. I just honestly feel like a Jack Strand. Go ahead and put him on the third string, just so you can develop him. Because if he's a surefire arm talent, he's got 13,000 yards. He's like a Matt Ryan type. They love him. They can't believe they got him. Then just develop him. Develop him, have him sit there for 3 or 4 years, and then once a Michael Penix leave or whatever, after 4 years, 1 year tour, 2 to 3 years of Michael Penix, and then you be like, hey, saying we're gonna move on from Michael Penix, you got a strand that you can, who's been there, who can go ahead and slide into to the QB1 role and do what he needs to do. That's how I see it. So I mean, I'm glad all the other teams got better, but just because that means the competition will be great. I don't want to win by default. I don't want to win because we're. I don't want to win that because we got BS competition. I want to win because hey, they're good, we're good, but we won. So it hits harder. You feel more accomplished with that. But that's what I'm gonna leave y'all at, man. I want to give y'all at least an hour of love with your boy the Lochness, man. For those who haven't subscribed to my channel, please go to my channel on the Lochness podcast on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. Put a put a thumbs up in the chat. Share the content out, man, so I can get the road to 500 subs. And just view my content, man. Really, I'm gonna start. I might soon. I'll be having a co-host up here. A few new guys or one other guy. So when y'all just won't just be hearing my voice, and then when he comes up here, I want y'all to show him love and support like y'all do for your boy. But I do appreciate everybody who stopped by, everybody who comment, everybody who listen, everybody who tune in. For wherever you tuning in at, whatever city, whatever state, whatever platform you're viewing this from, whether it's on Facebook, AFN, YouTube, or on my YouTube, wherever. I appreciate you. Besides that, man, we finna roll up out of here, man. Like I said, simple and straight to the point, no chasing. Probably try to come back on here for let's keep it a buck. And let's on Thursday, yeah. Thursday night probably we'll be doing let's keep it a book. So I try to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Thursday my other show. Let's keep it a buck. And we just gonna get like a nitty gritty conversation, like man, let's keep it a hundred. Let's keep it a hundred. Let's talk about the things that we really need to talk about. Um and I think I'm gonna talk about this Jack Strand. I think I'm gonna talk about the three quarterbacks, the four quarterback situation. I'm gonna go more in depth on what this means for Michael Penix, what this means for a Tua, what this means for Trevor Simeon, you know, um, and what this means for the franchise, um, picking up somebody like a Jack Strand who's regardless of whatever competition he has, he's an elite quarterback from what the idea. So a pocket passer guy that isn't afraid to run, um, has the arm talent, develop him, And at the end of that, man, it's gonna be crazy. So it's gonna be very interesting. I give it because you also got to think about it like this. Like Stefanski, they didn't draft Michael Penix. They picked up Tua as a bridge quarterback. So Tua's the bridge. Michael Penix is the alleged quarterback one after Tua does his bridge work. Or who knows if they don't let go of, like, it's so many opportunities they can let go of Penix and then have Trevor Simeon and Jack Strand. And then because I still think if Trevor Simeon, like I said, is just he's another. He reminds me of no. I still think Jack Strand gonna beat him out. I really think it's gonna be Tua, Michael Penix, and Jack Strand, and I think Strand is gonna come in. You gonna see Strand 2 years from now. I'd rather see him three. I see Jack Strand 3 years from now. Give him 3 years of development so he can be NFL ready. Give him 3 years of development, like I really wish they would have did with Michael Penix. Michael Penix needed at least 2 years, and then on his third year, then you put him in, and then they probably do that. Like I said, it's so many opportunities there because you don't know how this coaching staff is viewing their quarterback situation. So they might can run with Michael Penix for 1 year and then run with Tua, Michael Penix 1 year, and then after that, I had 2 years of Jack Strand, and then say hey, Strand's our guy. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. It's so much stuff in the air, but we'll leave that alone. We'll talk about that later. I do appreciate y'all, man. Much love to you. I'm gonna be out. Hey, see y'all next time. Please.